So this is actually a part two discussion we are having to a part one, one we had, I think, in April, and we are having a part two now. We've seen that there are a lot of confusions and conflicting ideas when it comes to merging or trying to understand contemporary relationships, ideologies, and mindsets that surround contemporary relationships um, versus traditional or cultural relationships. And in our setting as Ghanaians and as Africans, it is almost easy for culture and tradition to infiltrate our understanding because you are first and foremost a makeup of your mindset, and that your mindset originates from your engineering, what in psychology we call engineering. Your makeup, your upbringing, what you saw whilst you were growing up form the basis of your mindset, your understanding, and what you have come to believe. So as a result of that, people are trying to run a new software in contemporary relationship with an outmoded software to say when it comes to how they should go about their relationship. So there's always conflict where our parents are towing us a certain direction, our grandparents are teaching us a certain principle to uphold. Sometimes even teachers and leaders in contemporary times are also using the same old software of running relationships and marriages in our system. And most cases it crashes because what they thought to be true was in their context, was in their environment, was in their terrain. It doesn't mean that they are outrightly false or wrong. It is just that we need to know how we can navigate this same truth in our contemporary times, how we can channel these same principles that worked for them in our contemporary times. And unfortunately, some systems may not run in this new application or in this new phone age we are in. As a result of that, we may have to gracefully and respectfully throw all those ideologies away so that we can embrace new models of how relationships and marriages are supposed to run. So, the old people, by virtue of their experience and their old age, they have some level of wisdom and insight. Yet, like I always say, they don't have the time to correct some of the mistakes that they have made. That is how come sometimes they are forcing those principles on us because they feel they don't want us to make that same mistake. We also, in our generation and contemporary times, we also have the time, but yet we don't have enough skill, we don't have enough prowess, we don't have enough understanding and fortitude to also apply the right principles to ensure that we are getting it right in our relationship. So the purpose of this course or this workshop is to bridge the gap. Okay, we can't apply all of traditional principles because they are on the far extreme. We can't also apply the extremities when it comes to modernization or contemporary relationships because the result is what we are seeing, the multiple failed relationships, the multiple breakups, people divorcing in days and weeks. So yes, we are also not outrightly correct. We are also not outrightly right. There needs to be certain filtering we need to do. There needs to be certain reassessment we need to do. There needs to be a lot of unlearning we need to do so that by bridging the gap, we can gain wisdom from cultural and traditional relationship and also glean wisdom from our contemporary times and see how we can merge these two things and enjoy the best that comes with our romantic relationships and eventually our marital destiny. So that is the essence of this. And I want you to understand it is going to be fully participatory, it is going to be fully practical. We are not going to be talking in the skies. No, we want to come down and explain things to our understanding, and we are all going to share our views. So, myself and Samuel Ado are going to serve as your moderator, okay, or your facilitator whilst we engage some of this discussion and this topic so that we can get the nuances that has to do with romantic relationships. Sometimes I get the heart with which our parents or people of old or the elderly try to advise us on how we should go about our romantic relationship. Again, because they have seen a lot of failures in our jurisdiction. In their time, the divorce rates were relatively lower, though dysfunctional relationships or dysfunctional marriages were way on the rise. Okay, so you can argue that, yeah, they were not divorcing as much as we are divorcing now, but if we should take a microscopic view into their marriages, some of us, the experiences we've seen with our parents, it is evident that yes, there were fights here and there were abuses here and there, some even led to death here and there. So we can't argue that yes, they yeah, because the divorces or the divorce rates were relatively lower for them, it meant that they were having a good marriage. Okay. However, in our dispensation too, in terms of the quality of the relationship, yes, most of us are having, or most people are enjoying that, but it is often short term because we've not yet sustained that ability and that commitment and that resilience that the people of old or the medieval ages or the cultural or traditional marriages had. We have not gotten that level of resilience and commitment where we are able to stick to one partner for the long haul and work things through with them. So they are right when they say we are failing in the marriages of our generation. We are also right if we are also saying that they also experience a lot of dysfunction in their marriages. So the advantage we have right now is how we can enjoy passion, how we can enjoy platonic, how we can enjoy friendship, how we can enjoy romance and ecstasy when it comes to our romantic relationship. However, also applying their level of commitment and resilience they had to our relationship so that ours can be long term. Because you can argue that yes, but we are also having passion and we have the liberty to choose our partners, and that is true. But the demise in our generation is that our relationships are often short term. As a result of that, society is even glorifying short term marriages and short term relationship. If it doesn't work out, leave. If you know you can't cope, leave. If it's becoming unbearable, leave. But there is a certain level of commitment and resilience that our parents had. We are not advocating go and stay in abusive relationship or an abusive marriage, okay? But we are saying that you can work things through with your partner to make sure you enjoy the bliss that comes with it. Because as powerful as marriage and relationships are, there are still challenges. And unfortunately, in our dispensation, the moment there is a challenge, at a drop of a hat, I'm done. At a drop of a hat, I'm not doing again. So most of the cases that comes to me, um, in contemporary relationships is I'm not doing again. He said this, I'm not doing again. He said that, I'm not doing again. Or one of the issues partners have in their relationship is that their other partner often threaten them that they are going to leave the relationship at the drop of a hat or at a small conflict or misunderstanding that they have. So I'm trusting that we can get the balance, okay? We are in a contemporary times. How can we apply a bit of the cultural principles and mindsets? However, we still enjoy the bliss that comes with contemporary relationships. So, in our last conversation, so this is where we are going to pick up our discussion from. This week, I saw a tweet that I want to share with us and see what our perspectives are. Okay. So this is a tweet someone tweeted, and I want to hear from you. Let me know what you have to say about it. Like I said, it's going to be fully interactive. So the person said that I really don't think it's a good idea to go ahead and marry someone who very clearly loves and adores her pastor or church leader more than he or she. So in this context, it's he or she. Okay, that's to you. To be honest, I think it's an incredibly unwise thing to do, especially when they have shown you, and in some cases, even told the man or the woman point blank that your views and your opinions come second to that of this person. It is not pride to leave this person, it is just purpose preservation. So I want to hear from you guys. How do we handle this situation when it looks like this partner or this spouse prioritizes other voices than they do with you? So they rather want to hear from this person than they'll hear from you. Or when it comes to conflicting ideas, they will take the ideas of their parents, take the ideas of their pastor, take the ideas of their friends, maybe of the opposite sex or of the same sex, rather than actually listen to you or take what you have to share with them. Or they've made it clear that when it comes to boundaries and all, they will prioritize their friends or their parents or their pastor or whoever than they'll do with you. And there was a real life case that happened some years ago where the husband and the wife were having issues, okay, and it prolonged for a period of time. Then finally, they decided to go and see their pastor. They attend the same church, so they decided to go and see their pastor. And the counsel the pastor gave was almost the very thing that the husband has been saying. So the wife got to know that she was the one at fault. And the counsel the pastor gave was the same advice that the husband has been giving to her. However, she turned a deaf ear to it. But because the pastor said it, she was like, "Oh, pastor, really? I didn't know that this is what I've been doing to my husband, blah, blah, blah. I'm going forward. I'm going to serve him. I'm going to respect him. I'm going to submit. I'm going to do what I need to do." Then the husband went like, "Oh, okay. So all along, all the things I was sharing with you, all the things I was nudging you about or telling you that you need to work on, you didn't pay attention to it. But when your pastor or when our pastor said it there, you decided you are going to flow with that. And the man got disappointed, the husband got disappointed that you would rather listen to our pastor than listen to me. So if the pastor says something that is contrary to what I want us to do as the head or as the leader of the house, does it mean you are going to choose another head of a home to rule and reign in this marriage when I'm supposed to be the head of this home? So what do you guys think? How do we navigate some of these issues? Okay, Sammy, over to you. So please, anyone at all can start. So.
Okay, please you can.
Yeah, thank you very much. My network was not stable, so I could hear
Okay.
a bit of the story, and then it was also not flowing well. I heard a husband and then a wife had the issue, and then they went to the pastor, and the pastor was the counselor, and he was giving the same advice that the pastor was giving, the husband
The
was giving.
husband. Yeah.
So what was the question? So that was the
So
question, the statement that was clear, the story that was clear.
okay. So the question is stemming from what I've shared on my screen right now. Okay. That how do we navigate a situation where it looks like a partner prioritizes the voices of other people, say their pastor, their parents, their friends, than they do with their partner. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's good. But for me, I think it starts from the dating or the courtship stage.
Okay.
That is how I want to see it. Well, unless maybe we get into marriage and then things change it. I'm sure during that stage you go to counseling and then that. And that is where you get to have a good access of the person you want to get to marriage with. And you will know it whether your partner listens to you or not. I mean, for both sides. I'm
Okay.
sure at that stage you want to do things together because you have something ahead, and then you talk it out from that stage. You shouldn't wait till you get into marriage before you realize it. I mean, by then, to me, in my opinion, it becomes too late.
Okay.
The situation where a man intends to marry a woman, and you know that the woman does not listen to you, or a woman that this man does not respect you, doesn't show any sign of love, why would you still follow your feelings and then go on? I mean, ignore all the things. So I believe that it starts from the courting, the dating stage, because at that stage, you are best friends. You advise each other. You advise yourselves. And so at that stage, you're advising, and then no one is picking. Both of you are not picking. Then what are you going to get into? My candid opinion. So I think it should be handled at that stage before it gets into the marriage.
Okay. Very well. So, so according to this tweet that was made, if you can see it, what do you say? So, in the context of a relationship, so say they are not married, would you advise that they should go their separate ways? What will your counsel be, Mr. Joseph, in this context?
Well, in this context, I think it's a minor. It could be a minor problem, and then it could also be a major problem based on how I mean the longevity of it. If it is a chronic problem that has been talked about and both parties are not listening, I mean they keep repeating that habit. In that sense, it shows that no one is ready to settle, and you rather want to pick another head. I mean, men for me, I'm as a man, I would want to say that we have that pride of being a leader in the house. So if we are in that stage and then we've talked about it severally and then it's not being recognized by the lady, well, for me, it's a difficult thing because I would rather like to have a counsel and then we see that the advisor is being practicalized or being put into action before a decision is made. But if otherwise, then it means that it will continue. If it has been persistent for a very long time, it shows that it will continue. So in a case where it has not talked about, I mean, that's where we should have to iron it out well. Bring in the counselor, we talk, this is the situation. I mean, problem comes in, we talk about it, we deal with it. And if it is not worked out, if it has been done all angles, looked at it, and then till the lady looks at the pastor as the head over there. Yeah, and her and her drink meeting. Our advice, our advice that you make appropriate decision that will best suit each other because of ego. I mean the sense of ego there. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Well said, well said. I think okay. Irabna raised the hand. Yeah. Irabna, please, do you want to speak?
Ira, can you hear from me?
Okay. Okay. So, in my own opinion, I think whether it's marriage or it's a relationship, both have to see a counselor. And when choosing a counselor for what I agree with, in my opinion, I think it shouldn't be someone both parties know. It should be someone they doesn't know the man and doesn't know the woman as well, pastor, not both each other. I think it should be someone they don't know so that it will be very clear whether one is wrong or one is not, so that they will understand each other perfectly. Thank you.
Very well, very well. So they should seek for counsel, and that counsel should be a mutual yet independent counselor, without any fear or favor to, choose one side or the other. That's a very wise approach. Thank you.
Yes.
So what do you guys think? Partners prioritizing their parents, prioritizing their pastors, prioritizing other people to be more important than their spouse or their partners. What do you think?
Mark, please, are you in the mood to speak? Seems you muted yourself.
Okay.
Okay, I thought you were asking me
okay.
to speak. So.
Good. Oh.
Okay, Pa.
Okay. So, uh, me, Marcus, please, or Marcus, please, are you about to say something?
Okay, Pa, if you
Me
want to speak,
personally too. I think the issue with it's actually very that.
Oh, the network is not helping us. Okay. So who is speaking? Sammy, the one speaking.
Yeah, I was the one
Okay,
speaking.
okay. But Sammy, your network is also not
I'll
good, so your voice is dragging. Can you position yourself very well for us?
okay.
Okay. So please, who else wants to also share their opinion? You are in a relationship, but this partner prioritizes other people's voices than yours.
So,
Okay. Okay, let's go.
I would want to say this one real quick. You see, with this our generation, it becomes difficult for you to identify how the person puts priorities in their wish list. Maybe during your courtship or whatever, you were nice to each other based on certain things that you were doing for him or her. Mostly it's the hairs, the women. Yeah. So they may find interesting things in adoring their parents, advisors, pastors, especially as we are discussing. So it becomes difficult for you to know the exact thing that you have to do. You get it? So in this era, I would advise that you need to be careful when choosing a partner. You need to be careful because with regards to one of the cardinals recently during the Valentine's, he mentioned that we are imperfect. Hence, for a marriage to be successful, you need to have an imperfect body, a male and a female who are willing to commit 24/7. Throughout their activities, willing to commit and do everything together, forgiving each other and loving each other in that manner. Else, things will be difficult for you to progress. So that is my little take. It's not that when you see that they are prioritizing somebody, you run away. No, you just keep it in you that you are in a mystery. Everything is about risking. So if it goes well, fine. If it doesn't go well, then you find way of sorting things out, not just leaving them because it's against the Bible. I mean, the will of God. That is what I would say.
That's fine. That's fine. So you're in the context of marriage. This is not a solid or enough grounds for you to leave your spouse. Okay. However, like you said, we need to look into it. We need to have a constructive discussion. Let's know why it looks like you are paying attention to this or that, or you are taking the opinions of these people than you do with me. Is it that I'm not giving wise counsels? Is it that I overreact to things? Is it that I don't create the safe environment for us to have a constructive conversation? Sorry. So what actually is going on? What is it that your friend or your pastor or these people are doing that I'm probably not doing? So we need to have that conversation. That's very, very, very powerful. Please, anyone else to share before we move to the next one?
Yeah, my own.
Sammy, Sammy, okay.
I also think that our time, because of the kind of friendship we usually have with our partners, there is this possibility that we can you can as you know if you can say just say it for me. It looks as if we become too familiar with them, and at a point we just tend to Martini views. Let me just, so sometimes, for example, with the scenario you give, the pastor said the same thing the husband said, but once it comes from the pastor, and once it comes from the pastor, there is a way you can just be like, even though the husband said the same thing, but just because of how you are you familiarize yourself with your husband, you feel like it won't even sound like it was making sense until it comes from another person. You see, so I think in the medieval times they had that kind of reverence, that much reverence for their husbands, and with our time, since we are trying to inculcate friendship, I think we've overdone it to a limit. We've overdone it, so it looks as if meanwhile we used to say that marry your friend, but biblically the Bible calls your husband your Lord, not your friend. You see, so you should see him more as your Lord than as your friend. The reason why we inculcate friendship is so that we can enjoy the marriage. But in the sight of God, He's your Lord, not your friend. It is we men who are introducing theories and trying to make it nice so that it won't be something you are enduring but enjoying. But I believe if you look at it from scriptural standpoint, He's your Lord. And in marriage, the head of the marriage is the man. You see. But when you go to church and you are worshiping, that one is the pastor. But the moment we are dealing with our marriage, I honestly feel that it's actually normal for the man to feel that way, because I said the same thing. You didn't you didn't listen to me. The pastor said it. It's actually painful. Anyway, even with friends, if you are three friends and you tell someone one thing, they don't listen, but the other friend tells your friend the same thing, and then they tend to listen. You yourself, you feel like, but what's wrong with me? And how much more marriage? So I believe that we've to some extent, an extent, we've overdone the friendship thing, and it is affecting our loyalty too.
Wow.
I think Irabna wants to speak.
Yeah, Irabna. Powerful submission, Sammy. Powerful.
Ira, you can speak. I've unmuted. Please, can you unmute there?
Yeah, hello. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, please, can you hear me?
Yes, please, loud and clear.
Okay. So I also think that in as much as we are to marry our best friends or our friends, it has gotten to a point in time, looking at things and from stories being heard, it's like Christian marriages break down more than should I say unbelievers. I don't know how to call it, because we like Sammy said, we enjoy being friends with our partners more than seeing the men as our Lord. And that is a problem I personally have with my gender. A female or a woman seeing a pastor can kneel down, bow down, like the please and the respect for our pastors is not saying we shouldn't respect our pastors, okay, but it's like the way we see our pastors, I think when we come home to our husbands, we should see them the same way. But then we see our pastors, and if we are doing something, we feel like if we are doing something wrong, we feel like we should stop it immediately. We feel like we should give them the maximum respect, but we don't see our husbands the same way. I think that is the problem. In as much as we are friends, when it comes to serious matters, we should see them as our lords, yes, and then pay attention to them like we will pay attention to our pastors. Thank you.
That's very powerful. So what you said aligns with what Sami said. And one of the things Sami said that I want us to be mindful of is the familiarity. Okay. If you follow us on social media, I remember one time I made a post that learn to see your partner from the eye of a secret admirer. The reason I put up that post that learn to see your partner from the lens or from the eyes of a secret admirer is because you are not staying with your pastor to also know him inside and outside, to know his flaws, to know how he snores, to know his frailties and failings and his inconsistencies at home. Because you see him from a distance or at a distance, he's likely not going to easily step on your foot. So it becomes easier for you to see him as your Lord, for you to see him as someone who is a shepherd over your life, for you to give him that reverence that is due him. But don't forget that pastor's wife is also battling with the same issues you are also battling with your husband. So in this context, I'm talking to the women, okay? They have also seen their pastor in and out. They've seen the pastor naked. They've seen the pastor cry. They've seen the pastor vulnerable. They've seen the pastor weak. And that familiarity, when it breathes in, actually affects our heart posture and how we begin to see our partners going forward. Because it's someone who comes to share their vulnerabilities with you, their insecurities, their fears, their misdemeanors. You see a lot of flaws about them. So the advice is that you need a lot of discipline to still learn to see your partner from the lenses of that secret admirer, because those who are also on the outside are also revering your husband. So in this context, it goes both ways. So if you are the man and you have also familiarized yourself with your wife to the extent that you don't even take her input or her inventory, or you don't honor her also, or you don't respect her also, when you don't do these things, don't forget that someone on the outside is also seeing this person as flawless, also seeing this person as an angel. The way you saw your partner from a distance before you approached them and became friends and toasted or proposed a relationship to them, if you begin to lose sight of seeing them from that angle, don't forget that there are bystanders who are also seeing this person from that same lens. So it may be easier for the woman to revere the pastor than it even is for the pastor's wife to even revere the pastor, because the pastor's wife has seen the pastor in and out. So yes, there is the need for that authority or that accountability partner in your relationship or in your marriage. I vie for that. I preach that all the time. However, we need to learn the balances where you don't let your partner know or feel that other things are trying to compete for attention with them. So in the context of the men, sometimes we prioritize, and even I fought at that all the time, we prioritize our purpose, prioritize going to watch football and playing football, prioritize other manly stuff that we do over our partner. We sometimes prioritize the person of the opposite sex other than our partner, and our partner sometimes do those things to us. So the moment your partner begins to feel that other things are taking your time and attention away from them, that is where the insecurity and the jealousy begins to breed in. And as a counselor, I've seen that people sometimes do this deliberately to get their attention of their partner, and that is toxic. Just to get them to be on their feet again, you deliberately be flirting or be entertaining other people or other relationships just to get the attention of your partner. So it is good to have authorities, to have partners, because they play an immense and an invaluable role in our lives, in our spiritual growth and other aspects of our lives, no doubt about it. However, we need to learn to play the balance, because don't forget that pastor is also a head in another home. So you can't allow that authority to now come and pry into the system that you have built for yourself, and eventually it is affecting you. Again, in the medieval ages, their structure was that the man was supposed to be the head and all, and it's actually biblical. Okay, so it's not really a cultural or a traditional issue. Unfortunately, in our contemporary situation, a lot of extreme feminists are trying to boycott the idea of leadership or headship at home, because they think it is tantamount to slavery as a result of what they saw or they heard their parents or their mothers or whoever or their auntie go through as a result of that headship or that leadership structure. Okay, so that structure was there, but the unfortunate reality is that it became more or less like a lord servant or a slave master kind of relationship, where the wife can't have any constructive conversation,
There is also thought.
where a wife can't have a constructive conversation or an endearing or a vulnerable moment with their partner, or a friendship discussion with their partner, because is that he's my lord. Any little thing I do, he's going to come at me, he's going to bash me and all of that. And like Sameko noted, in our generation too, we are trying to deal with that, because ideally it's a partnership, right? And if you've done company law in business, you understand that if it's a partnership, then both of us are coming together to build a dynasty or a royalty together. So there needs to be that level of fondness, that level of endearment, that level of open space, and that freedom for us to be honest with ourselves, to be vulnerable with each other and whatnot. But you see, in a bit to also appreciate the friendship dynamic, in a bit to appreciate the equity and the equality dynamic in marriage, we are almost overriding that structure and that headship or leadership structure at home, where some people even openly say that men are saying they don't want to be head of the home, we are all heads. And I tell them that have you seen a car with two steering wheel in the car before? It has never happened before. No matter how advanced technology has become, you will never see a car with two steering wheel where the woman is on one side of the steering wheel and the man is on one side of the steering wheel. The woman say we are driving left, the husband say we are driving right. No. In every facet, because there needs to be accountability, there need to be order and sanity. There will always be a head, and that headship doesn't mean this person is better than you. I was sharing with Jemima there some nights ago, some few days ago, that sometimes it's because of the examples women saw while they were growing up. So it is normal and easier for us to misinterpret leadership to be slavehood or to be that servanthood kind of situation. Because again, the Bible advocates leadership. Okay, the Bible advocates structure at home. The Bible advocates that the man is the head or the leader. And one thing men should even understand: you are not the leader by merit. You are not a leader because you merited it or you are competent enough. No, you are the leader because God made it so. So if you're supposed to lead, you now have to go back to God to give you the blueprint on how you can actually lead. The greatest leader of all time, Jesus Christ, taught us leadership by example. He made us understand that the best way you can actually lead your follower is when they see you doing the things you said we should all do together. So you see that he stripped himself of his towel to wash their feet. He prepared food for his disciples after he resurrected from the dead. When they were going somewhere, he took the lead. They saw him do the thing. So it was easier for them to say, Master, teach us how to pray, because they saw him doing the prayers. But the kind of tradition and culture has hijacked the leadership structure to be, I'm your Lord. Yes, I'm the authority in the home. So what I say is final. So you don't have a say in this home. You better keep quiet. You better shut up, because I'm the one ruling the home. As a result of that negative experiences, it becomes difficult for the average woman to even accept that leadership authority. Number one, what they heard from the medieval and traditional marriages was nothing good to write home about. Number two, the way they saw their father treat their mom and themselves is nothing to nothing good to write home about. So already the basis and the ideology is forming in their head that if this is how my father treated my mother in the name of I'm the head of this house, then I don't think I want this kind of head. Growing up in their own relationship, maybe the man took advantage of them in the name of I'm the head, in the name of I'm going to lead you Sunday. Probably in their country, their president is not the good one, always authoritative, autocratic, and making decisions here and there. That is not helping the policies of the country. Maybe the church she even finds herself in, the pastor is also that way, one man army. Everything he says is final. No one can contribute whatsoever. If as a lady you've heard of this traditional or medieval issue or setting with slavehood and leadership, your own father was not a good example. Your own pastor is not a good example. Your president of a country is not a good example. Trust me, guys, if we are in the situation of the women, it becomes easier for us to understand why some of them are fighting this structure or this leadership at home. Is because of the experiences they have seen. That is not to say that that is the right thing to do or the right way to go, but we need to understand where things are so that we can know how we can now address the things going forward. So this is to say that yes, the leadership or the lordship setting they had in the medieval and the cultural ages was not good. The practices of it was not good, because when the Bible was saying the man is supposed to lead the home, he was saying it from the lens of the man being the servant, or the man serving, or the man leading by example, like we see Jesus Christ did. But unfortunately, culture and tradition has hijacked that same system, yet we are not effectively playing that role adequately. As a result of that, in the extreme, like Sami said, in the bid to be friends, in the bid to understand ourselves, in the bid to be close and to be partners, we are also almost robbing that role and that leadership or that structure that we need at home. And as a result, again, anarchy and chaos and confusion will be inevitable. So I'm glad that we are getting the perspective. If you realize that your partner is paying attention, and this one it goes both ways, whether male or female, your partner is paying attention to other person or is prioritizing spending time with them or whatever conversation with them that they are doing with you. Number one, before you even go ahead and have a conversation with them, you need to ask yourself, what is it that this other person is doing for them that you think you are not doing right? Because sometimes it's easier for you to cast the blame or to judge this person, that why would you listen to your pastor than listen to your husband. But when we go into it, there may be certain things the husband is doing that is actually the wife is resenting. And I'm not saying that is an enough ground to cover, to be the reason why, to be the reason why you actually trump on the decision or the headship at home. But sometimes we need to again look at the nuances and check the biases. What is this man doing that is actually making the woman difficult to submit to the man? Okay. Then again, if it's about friendships and all of that, there may be something that this man is getting from there. Probably you're not paying attention to them, you're not spending quality time with them, you're not giving them a listening ear. There may be something that may be going wrong, because in counseling and psychology, we understand that nothing happens by chance or by mistake. Things happen, there's always a cause, there's always a root cause why things happen. So I think that is just by the way, but thank you so much for your input on this. Because of the time, so I want us to move into the next phase of the discussion. So in the so where we picked up from last time we met and we're having this discussion, we mentioned that or where we ended our discussion was comparing arranged marriages in the medieval and the cultural settings versus the freedom to now choose your partner. Okay, so in the medieval and the culture and the traditional setting, you are even sitting at the comfort of your home and they send your spouse to you that this is the man you are going to marry, this is the woman you are going to marry. You don't have any form of friendship with this person, you don't have any vibe with this kind of person, you don't know this person from anywhere. Whereas in our contemporary times, we have the liberty to choose our partner. So now the conflict here, which we are going to have a discussion about, is that parents are still trying to hijack the freedom that we have to choose our partner. Okay, they tell you things like it's not about love, it's not about passion. So far as there is a little bit of compatibility, or we think that both of you are good together, that is enough, or that says it all. Let's discuss how should we go about this, where parents and authorities still want to directly influence our decision to choose a partner based on our own maturity, responsibility, understanding, or whatsoever. So if someone find themselves in that setting where you found this person you want to marry, your partner, your parents said, nah, wait, not today, not tomorrow, or your pastors are not in support of it. Now, it's a red flag if your parents, your partner, your pastors, your counselors, everyone is not in support, or your friends are not even in support of this. Then you need to really take a step back and really ask yourself a lot of questions. Okay, but let's say, well, your pastor doesn't agree, or your parents do not agree, but your pastor agree, your pastor does not agree. But so how do we go about that nuances? You found your partner, but the parents says they are not going to support this. Okay, so anyone at all can set the ball rolling for us. Please, I hope the question is clear.
Okay, guys, let's hear from you.
Hello.
Okay, please, we are listening.
Please, can you?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, Sir Felix.
Yeah. I want to answer the question. Right.
Okay, please answer the question for us.
Thank you very much. Okay, so when it comes to choosing a partner, in my opinion, I believe that first of all, after you've got a person that you believe this person, you are compatible with the person, you would want to marry that person and all that. But then there's something we call authority. As a lady, your father is your authority. And after you've left your father's house, you go to your husband. That's where your husband now have authority over you. So any man that you choose, you have to present the man to your family. So if your father doesn't agree, if your mother doesn't agree, in a Christian setting, if you two believe that God has spoke to you, that you people are supposed to stay together, then that's where you have to labor into prayer. And if it's really the will of God, they will definitely agree in the future. But then if your parents don't agree, and even if your pastor agrees, your pastor still doesn't have the right to actually bless the marriage. Because your parents have a certain kind of authority over you. Because they gave birth to you, and there's a kind of authority that God has given unto them. So that authority is to them. So if you go behind their back, there are a lot of instances where people married against the will of their parents. And sometimes it doesn't end well. Apart from because you've actually breached authority. And in the scriptures, you get to understand that authority is very key to God. Because you cannot breach authority. So if you really want to have a successful marriage, a marriage that is lasting, then I believe that you go through the right process. If you take the guy to your parents, the guy also brings you to their parents. If all parents agree, if they're not agreeing, then you have to pray for them to agree. And if the agreement comes, that is when you take the next step to what you were supposed to do. Thank you very much.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, Era, you can speak.
Hello, can I talk?
Yes, please, you can.
Yeah, you can talk. Haley, please, we'll repeat the question after she answers it, so don't worry. We'll repeat the question. Era, please, you can continue.
Oh, okay. So, in choosing a partner and looking at the opinions from your parents or your pastor, I agree with my brother saying that your pastor might be the one blessing your marriage, but the opinion of you, they accepting the person, you who is choosing the person should look into it. Is it that most of our African parents, especially our mothers, sorry to say this, but are still in the belief of tribalism. They believe in tribalism, so they'll be like, with the experience they had with an elder man, dear, me dear, me mama babia and worry elder man because elder men omunye. Yes, but here comes the case. The baba also kushia elder man or dream say pe empaibo a wabo for so long, no, and the qualities are on wakache na me say she wants, no, she has seen that in the elder man, but no mama say elder man dear. Penny experience a winner with elder men into no on penisman eba no and worry. That's elder man. I think this young lady should pray, like she really has to pray, so that God will touch this woman's heart. I mean, her mom's heart to have a change of mind. Yes, because we are in an era that people can really pretend. And should you find a good partner, a partner that you really think you've prayed for, you should hold that person very well. Yes, it shouldn't be someone's opinion changing your mind and then letting you go for another. Not your parents, not your pastor. It should be you and God. Yeah.
Well said. So the question is that how do you handle parental disapproval for a partner? Okay. The difference between, again, traditional and contemporary is that tradition, the right to choose was actually given 100% or totally to their aunties or their uncles or their parents or their guardian to do so. But in our contemporary times, because of freedom, because of liberalization, we have the power and the independence or the autonomy to choose our partner. But there are instances where your parent is still inflicting that same level of autonomy and traditional setting in these contemporary times where they still want to choose a partner for you, or you have gotten your partner but they are in disagreement or disapproval. How do you handle that situation? So like Ira said, sometimes it's tribalism, is because of tribe. In our ancient times, always fought with these people and these people kill these people, so we don't marry from that tribe and all of that. So how do you handle that if your parents are in disagreement? Okay. Or they are asking you to choose someone because they feel you'll be compatible with this person, but you in your heart of hearts own donipan, and then they go like, and you're done. Yeah, say it's not passion and ecstasy and euphoria that will make you stay for long, because even them, they've been staying for long years. They've been married for years, but there's not necessarily love and all of those things. So how do you handle that parental disapproval?
Please, we are still taking your submissions. This question is case Ankasa.
Can I talk?
It's one of the.
Can I
Okay, Marcus, please.
talk?
Marcus, please. Marcus is off.
Please, can I talk?
Okay, you can talk. Era,
All
please
right.
hold on. You're
So,
coming. Please hold on. I'm coming.
all right. So with this situation, I've experienced it firsthand with my sister. Okay, where my sister went in for a guy, my dad said, the guy comes from a region that the guys don't really treat women well, so he won't allow it. My sister was talking about prayers. Yes, prayers is very, very necessary. But the thing is, prayer alone won't solve the problem, because after the prayers, you have to act on it. Because if you say you pray and you sit there that God should touch the person's heart, God might touch the person's heart, but if you don't do anything, you see the person will still be there. So I think consistency. You can sit your parents down. In this world, there is nothing that can almost say Asantis have something that Atemba and Yensika ni Dijuja. Yeah, so you sit your parents down, then you let them give you the reasons why they are against the partner you have chosen. Okay, maybe they might have a reason, they might have a solid reason. So if they give a reason and you think that their reason is valid enough, and that's looking at the reason they have given the partner, you can let go of your partner, fine. But if you think you still want that partner, even though they have given you a solid reason or they have given you a reason, you can go ahead and speak to your partner. Then let your partner also speak to his or her parents or guidance or family members, and for them to come and see your parents and sit down and have a discussion. It might be difficult, but I think that you should continue to speak with your partner, for your partner and his or her family to come and speak with your parents, so that I know that continue speaking to their people, so that they also be able to provide the they reasons why they think that they are good for your child, or maybe the reason why you gave, they can come and debunk that reason. Because in this world, everything can be solved with words. So in as much as you are praying, you speak with your partner, and for your partner to also come with his or her family members to come also speak with your parents. so that any differences or any misconceptions can be broken down, can be thrown away, so that you guys can go ahead and have your peaceful marriage. That's my little supplication or answer.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Father Ralph, you are welcome. Ralph, please, I'm coming in. Sir Joseph, please, you can speak. Sir Joseph, please, can you hear me? Sir Joseph,
Hello?
please, you can speak. Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. This is one of the toughest questions you can ever ask anyone. Yes, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. For me, in my opinion, it all boils down to those involved, the partners. And why do I say that? Everything is possible, okay? I believe that it's possible, but then you should look up to yourself and see whether you can fight this battle. It's a battle of spiritual battle, physical battle, and then cultural and generational battle. So you have to really consider that if you can do that and if you really want it. Otherwise, just make a decision that would be very sound for you. Because when parents are not in agreement, marriage, we know, it's not just between a man and a woman, it's between families. So even if you pray spiritually and then God has spoken to you and then you don't deal the physical and the cultural aspect with it, you will still fight that battle to eternity. So for me, I think that when it comes to such cases, you just have to consider whether you can fight this battle, for how long it will take for it to be resolved. If you can, then take that decision and fight for it until the end. Otherwise, you have others that you can love equally better people, and then family can make approval of. Then you make a decision.
I don't have anyone. No, we are na missing me one. No, masa me new beer biom. Na bishop ah. Blame my black over we. With booking had me by me. Hey, boss.
Honestly, Godwin, honestly, this is a battle. It's a serious battle. You alone can't fight. I'm not kidding. This is a serious issue.
Mr. Joe, the way I walk
But can't both of you run away?
I say infama na ebi abo afa ho. Joe, the way I walk I say infama I say when personal.
No. I know what I'm talking about. Crazy.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I'm a prophet. Only guy.
Yeah, Professor.
So I think, honestly, I think that is it, because you have to fight. It's a fight. You have to fight. If one open there, you have to fight spiritually, physically, culturally, in terms of culture, and then transgenerational, generation after generation. Because it will be like they are looking out for mistakes. A little mistake that comes is a kind where and so it's going to be a very weight on you. Though you love the person, that one, it doesn't change. You love the person, but you have to be strong and be ready to fight. Honestly, that one, I will advise anyone, if you really want it, then decide to fight hard. If you want people to help you fight, you can get Godfrey, you want to say something? It's muted also. Okay. All right. Thank you. But I'm done. I'm done with my contribution.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Ira, you can speak, then Jimmy will speak.
Okay. So to add up with what I said at first, and then with what our brother who spoke before Sir Joseph did, I think after praying and after praying and then educating your parents or whoever you're guiding who is not in agreement, I think you should also put some actions in place. Your partner, and you know your parents. They are your parents. So one way or the other, you will know their weakness, okay, what they like. Yes. So with my with my mom especially, she likes gifts. So please don't laugh at me, okay? This is from experience. Okay, so mom pacho where see me for like something she really likes. Oh, what's me from bro? Because the relationship wasn't that strong. Oh, what's me from bro? But yeah, can it's with my own manual. I'm not saying you should go and lie, but your partner. Oh, for my mom, in your name, what do you think? Oh, okay, let me support you. Oh, okay, I don't have the means to do that. Okay, let me do it. I just want to build that relationship. And sometimes you shouldn't let your partner know that that is what is really going on in the house because it can break them down. Yes, you should be working it back door. Nti na ɔyɛ bi ama mepacho kwaku si memfa wei mbrɛ wo kwaku so nka hwee o but you're trying to build a relationship day in day out na onim sɛ wo maame pɛ gift nti no sɛ and it's like oh no but it's a strategy you get it nti no de biara no ɛwɔ mu a na watɔ biribi abrɛ no in kwaku's name you see that the relationship will start growing and you put some actions in place to make her think that, oh, Sana, and I before and almost say, Kweku is actually different. Please, do you get me?
Charlie, you've nailed it. You've nailed it. Hey, Charlie, bribe Babimo, bribe Babim, bribe Baba system.
This one we need more practical experience. Was that I could do
Marcus said you've not met Kankpi parents before, eh?
Bright, please,
Awesome.
let's hear from you. Oh, as long as Bright wants to speak, Bright, you're welcome. Bright, let's hear from you. Let's hear from you.
Oh, but I thought Jima wanted to speak, so we go according to. Oh,
I think she has left the page. She's still on. Let Bright go. I've chosen Bright. Yes.
Hey. Oh, sorry.
I've chosen Bright. Yes. Bright, please, let's hear from you.
Oh, thank you.
Bright, yeah, I'm trying to hear you.
Today, yes, maybe I'm a die. So, I've heard your the submissions and stuff are all true. This, I think, people have tried fighting these battles that they were not able to win, and Marcus made a statement that you say assemble. And yes, you can but when it comes to this issue, mommy for no any papa for no I'm the kind of teacher because it is now that I to say because of a need anyway as a so article but at first and stuff when you even go for higher authorities to even come and speak on your behalf and stuff, they don't accept it. Once that the community have agreed that every man is marrying and every lady, Ashanti woman is marrying an Ashanti woman and stuff. That was so. So you realize, was it last 2 years or so? We were doing some survey, and then we got to realize that it was in our church, and then most of the people who we were tackling something about marriage. So my team and I, we were doing some survey, and then we got to know that most of the unmarried people who have children now, most of them are as a result of family not accepting them to get married to one another. And it is something that is really, really, really worrying us. So maybe find someone that you really like, you really love, that you want to really marry, but oh man, she say, oh papa, she say, and you don't have anything to do. So those days, most of them, they will neglect their parents. So people, as at now, people are still are still having problems with with their parents, with their family members and stuff because of the marriage that they went to. Some even decide to take outsiders to stand in as mother, as father for them, just to get married to the person that, or the lady or the man that they want to marry, just because their parents are not in support. So this issue, I think it's very wide, and the people have tried solving, and we are still having problem as at now. Many people, for instance, one thing that I've noticed, Ashanti Fonwe, we are making say, I will not let my daughter or my son marry Obi Ofri Infante, Obi Ofri Ewe and stuff. As Jimmy was saying, Ewe for Panama Bell was that tribalism anyway, no, which sometimes we feel pity for them, but it shouldn't be so. I think everyone deserves love, and then love cuts across everything. So if you find someone that you really want to marry, you have to go in for. So sometimes it is hard, but me personally, when it happens like that, then I have to let go of my family, my mom, my dad. If you can't, then we have to let go of and then marry the one that I want to marry, because after all, I'm not going to live with them and stuff. So if this were, especially when I have confirmation from God that this is the one that I'm supposed to marry, if I have confirmation from 3, 4 people that this is my destiny helper, this is the person that God has assigned for me to marry, then me personally will let go of family issue, in as much as I am very, very close to my relatives or my family members. It is time that I also set up my own family and then we move forward. So sometimes it is hectic, sometimes it is pathetic, but you have to let go of. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think some people are camping. They don't. Which did I cream? Jimmy, please, let's hear from you. After my come at home,
Yes, I know.
just for the moment. Obi go down and say make us short. Until we carry. Please, let's hear from you.
I think all has been said in. So the reason I raised my hand was to just ask a follow-up question on what Marcus said. So ask whether the father finally agreed, and he has answered in the comments. So I'm fine. Thank you.
Yeah, hello.
Please, you are listening to you, sir.
Okay, so with what Bright said, I want to say something some more, because I agree with what Bright said, because even our first ancestor, that is Adam, when God brought Eve to him, he says, and therefore a man shall leave the mother and father and shall cling to the wife, and they shall become one flesh. So if you, the parents, they have been speaking to you, then the ultimate thing is that since we have to listen to the Bible, then he has to leave you and cling to the wife and become one flesh. So what Bright said, I totally agree with Bright, but that is in the worst case scenario. But I agree with him. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hmm. Oh, this one.
Hello.
Okay. Hey, let's hear from you.
Hi.
Haley, let's hear from you.
Everybody is saying, oh, so fast you talk to the parents, so fast you talk to the parents. It's not as easy as it seems. Ukwenye will be someone, let's say you have a mother, you were raised by a single mother, and that your father, it's let's say a fancy man. You didn't do anything wrong. Like he was lawyer and everything, but the man decided to do whatever he wants. He left, he abandoned the family and whatnot. So he has that direct impact of what a fancy man has done to her. And she has a daughter, she has a son. And she said, oh, in 24 days, papa. And even that one, because it's directly to it affected the child directly, the person will also have, oh, my dad was a fancy, he abandoned me. So even if the person tries to go out with someone, the person will steer clear of the fancy men and the attacker on pen fancy because they didn't know. And even if say they didn't know cry, they didn't mommy. No, I say, oh, this one is different. You see, they didn't go to you. No matter what, there's still that trauma, that PTSD, that what this man did to me, I don't want it to happen to my daughter. And she said, oh yeah, then a bad thing. No, it's not as easy as this, oh, me bomb pie. Maybe onje. But it's just I think it's just you trying. So whenever I think the earlier you start, the better. So the moment you see that this person may look fear behavior now, you start feeling the person up with like you feel your mom up, oh, this is the person. Then I can say, oh, if I see them radio, radio, also on this you just start what's the word? Me who they are kind of money who say, oh, say until the then maybe I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to be a sure thing, but just maybe she's going to accept it or the parents is going to be like, oh, this person is different. You just don't go and what the person with Yes, I know that one day, honestly, it's going to be harder than it seems. So that's the little I have to say.
Okay, that's well said. That's well said. I think the question has been exhausted, and I appreciate you all for your contributions. Though I've not heard from Veronica, I've not heard from Ralph, I've not heard from Maggie. Maggie, you are I'm co-hosting with you. So we jamesi
Oh yeah,
kwemu, Maggie.
Maggie
I'm
Wamba.
co-hosting with you. So we jamesi kwemu. Okay. So please, if you've not spoken, we are directing the following ones to you. Hello.
Hi.
Mm,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please, I want to correct something. The guys who are saying that no matter what, the Bible says that a man will cling to his wife and live alone with her. That thing is yes, it's right in the Bible, but so you can't say that no matter what your parents say, you still do what you want. You go ahead and marry a lady that you want. No, you shouldn't do that. And also, when God gives you something, so when God gives you something, He makes sure that everything is in line. Even if your mom or your dad disagrees to everything you do, if God wants this thing to happen, He will melt the hearts of your mom and dad and will like the lady by force. That's what happens. So if you go ahead and marry that lady, or that lady, you go ahead and marry that guy, no matter what your parents are saying, you go ahead with it. Know that if anything happens, they will wash their hands off it. I know a woman which that thing happened to. The guy was a fancy, and no matter what the parents of the guy said that he shouldn't marry the lady, he didn't listen, and he went ahead to marry the lady, and the guy died. The way the lady suffered. So please don't put in your head that if your parents says that don't marry this girl, or if your parents say that don't marry this guy, and you go ahead with it, God in heaven will even disapprove of it. Because when God gives you something, He makes sure that everything is in line, everything is perfect. Everything be able to turn out fine. And son of the Asha will say, onye na dear say in future, and it will come and affect you. No, you pray, and you also listen to your parents, because God knows why you went into that family. God knows why those parents are yours. So don't say that you do what you want. And also, I've forgotten one thing, but please, when I remember, I'll prompt you.
Well
Thank you.
said. Well said. That's coming from a married woman. Thank you. Your submission is well noted. If you guys will remember, when I was introducing the question, I made mention of the fact that if you see, as an individual, you need to have enough good support system in your life. Because you were not born an island. You need certain friends, you need accountability partners, you need authority, of which your parents play a major role. So, the answers are the way they are coming because every situation is ideal. So we can't put one situation to fit all or a one size fits all situation. Okay. So I get where all of you are coming from. What I would say is that you see, you have your parents. If you belong in a church or a mosque or whatever your spiritual beliefs is, you have an imam, you have a pastor, you have a shepherd, you have a leader over your life. You also have you have aunties, you have uncles. You should have enough support system in your life. The reason those systems are important is because when it gets to some of these issues, the complications and the complexities thereof, you should ask yourself, so if my parents are not in alignment or in agreement, what is my pastor saying about the situation? What is that my favorite auntie saying about the situation? What is that my favorite uncle saying about the situation? What is my shepherd or my leader saying about the situation? What is my counselor or my coach saying about the situation? Now listen to me. If your pastor, together with your parents, together with that your favorite auntie and uncle, together with even your friends or the authority figures you have around your life, they are all in this in agreement that you shouldn't go on in this marriage or you shouldn't marry this person, then it is enough incentive for you to really reconsider the situation because they don't hate you that much for all of them to come together to disagree on a decision you are making, which of course we are excited that you are getting married. So why is it that with this individual in particular, we are all against it? You see, if all of these support system are in agreement that you shouldn't go ahead, then I don't think the excuse they are giving may be a flimsy excuses. Unfortunately, because of the cultural setting of our parents, it is easier for them to give trivial reasons why you shouldn't marry someone, like the way the person looks, or the person they don't like the person. There are situations that we say, oh no, papa nana mama no penny panasen. So because of that, you shouldn't marry the person. That is not enough grounds to be the reason why your daughter or son shouldn't go ahead and marry. And you see, as we are saying all these things, we shouldn't also forget that a time is going to come. We are also going to be mothers and fathers if some of us are not already. And we are also going to face that situation where our children will bring home someone they want to marry. And just because you don't like the person, naturally you don't like the person. So you wouldn't want your father or you didn't want your children to go ahead and marry this person. So if the excuses are flimsy, like tribal issues, they personally don't like the person, or they feel the person is arrogant and all of that, you should now discuss these things with your pastor, discuss this thing with your auntie or your uncle or the support system or the authority figures you have in your life, and listen to what they also have to say. If it looks like it's only your parents who are in disagreement, but all the other good support system in your life are in agreement, then you can now depend on them to convince your parents on your behalf. Because no matter how old you are, your parents will still see you as that young or that baby who was walking about, rolling the panties in the sky and bathing outside. No matter how mature you are, your parents will still see you that way. So in their eyes, you are still young. In their eyes, they still have the authority to make decisions for you. Forgetting that the Bible says children should obey their parents and the grown-ups should honor them. There is a clear difference between obedience and honor. In obeying your parents, it means that whatever they tell you to do, you need to obey because you are under their authority up to a certain age. You are under their authority, financial speaking, because they are still taking care of you and all of that. So you are still supposed to be obedient to them. But when you mature and you become of age, you are no longer under their submission. You now must learn to honor them. Honoring means you can disobey them respectfully. You can disobey them in honor. That mom and dad, this decision I'm making, I respect you, I honor you, but I'm still going to go ahead, especially because my pastor, my auntie, or those around me who are also authorities like you are, have also consented to this decision. And we've tried to also counsel you guys into accepting this decision, but it looks like you guys are not accepting. It is babies and children who are supposed to obey, but grown-ups and mature are supposed to honor. That means that I can disagree with you respectfully. I can disagree with you and still give you the honor that is due you. Scripture says it, that children should obey, then the grown-ups should honor. So if you are disobeying your parents respectfully, or you are disobeying your parents in honor, especially when you have other good support system backing you, then trust me, it's actually a good thing. The scripture advocates for it. Because you are supposed to submit to your parents in the Lord. You are supposed to obey your parents in the Lord. Just like you can't tell God, or you can't tell your pastor, you can't tell me that, oh, your parents asked you to smoke, and because the Bible says you should obey them, so you obeyed. Oh, your parents ask you to go and visit the shrine, or they ask you to go and steal, or they ask you to go and do prostitution, and because you are living with them, or because they are your parents, or because you need to respect authority, you need to do that. No, you are supposed to do that in the Lord. That means if whatever they say is contrary to what scripture says, scripture gives you the child enough grounds to disobey them, but you do it with a right attitude. You do it in honor, you do it in respect. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. So you are supposed to honor your parents when you are grown, but they can't be dictating for you. In scripture, it says that in the New Testament, by virtue of the death of Jesus Christ, there is no more Jew, there is no more Greek, there is no more male, there is no more female. That makes you understand that there is no more tribalism again. So even scripture advocates that we can marry people from other tribes, we can marry people from yes, from other tribes or from other cultural setting or community, because if they are born again, then they belong to the sheepfold of Christ. That means that now our tribe is no longer Ewe or Gan or whatever. Our tribe is Christian. That is if you're a believer, okay? Our tribe is called Christianity. That means that you can marry anyone from any tribe. So if your parents are in sharp contrast to what the word of God says, which in this context they are giving flimsy excuses why you can't marry this person, you have the scriptural backing and the authority backing to disobey them, but with the right attitude and in honor, in respect, and still in submission. But I disagree with this decision you are asking me to make, because it goes in direct contrast to what the scripture has to say. So before you take the step, number one, make sure that you and your partner are on the same page, because sometimes you are trying to fight your parents alone and your partner is not even supporting, because of that parental disapproval, your partner has even given up on the relationship, on the marriage long time, but you are the only one sticking your neck in that situation. You may end up becoming enemies to your parents whilst this person is long gone, because they don't think they can stand this fight. So number one, make sure that you and your partner are in agreement. Okay. Then number two, look for people who have direct influences in the lives of your parents or your pastor. So far as they are in agreement, that is a good stepping stone for you. So you now convince them to convince your parents. If it is your uncle or your auntie or your pastor, convince them to now speak, because now they can talk on an elderly level. They can talk on an authority level, from pastor to parents, from auntie to parents, from uncle to parents. Except they are being manipulated or something. Pastor aka, uncle aka, auntie aka, counselor aka. Why wouldn't they agree? Because they know that it's not a child parent situation, but elderly people have come in. Then again, you need to also implore prayer in the situation, because sometimes the thing may be spiritual. God may be bringing both of you together to fulfill a certain assignment that the devil may be in agreement, and they may, I'm not saying they are manipulating your parents, the devil may take advantage of your parents' distaste for this person and capitalize on that to be the reason why both of you cannot marry. So make sure both of you are on the same page. Make sure that you have enough support and accountability system in your life. Then use them as a bait to actually convince your parents on your behalf. Make sure that you are also make sure that you are also praying about the situation. And I believe that at that point where, like Bright said, you need to break off regardless of what your parents are saying. So far as God is in agreement, the word of God is in alignment, this good, strong support system is in alignment. Trust me, you can now take the move. But again, respectfully honoring them and making sure your attitude is right. At the end of the day, if you need any help or assistance in the marriage, your parents are not the only people you can fall off. In fact, I don't even advise as a counselor that your parents or your family member should be prying into your relationship issue. Like Ira said, there needs to be an independent person actually giving counsel and guidance concerning how both of you should go about your relationship. So yeah, they'll say that Asemba, I will follow in yes, but you have the same support system that were backing you when you actually got married. Learn to leverage on this same support system when issue comes and both of you can't handle it. But at the height or at the plateau of it, if it looks like your parents are not in agreement and all these other things I said, and probably many more are in view, you are supposed to leave them anyway. Though the leaving didn't connote abandoning them. Okay, it means that you are disconnecting from them emotionally. You are now prioritizing the marriage you are entering over your former and your ex relationship with your parents. However, it doesn't mean abandoning your parents, but if it gets there, I want you to know that you have the scriptural backing if that they are giving trivial and flimsy reasons why both of you can't be together. Okay. That is just by the way. So thank you guys so much for your submission on that. I pray that no one find themselves in that unfortunate situation because we are marrying families together. So it's more joyous and exciting that we have the backing of our parents, we have the backing of our friends and our good support system. So it is important, like Haley said, you even need to start praying about it now. You need to start having this conversation with your partner, with your parent to know what their mindset or their idea is about you choosing a partner. That can you choose from this tribe or that tribe? Then you are preparing the waters. Then when this person comes in view, and mostly, I don't know if you guys will observe, but mostly it looks like the families that are against you marrying from one other family, their children or their daughter always find themselves marrying the same people from that tribe. It's like the moment your families are against Ewes, your daughter or your wife will find themselves with an Ewe. The moment they are against Ga, I don't know how it happens supernaturally. You will just happen that this man you meet that you actually want to be with, just by random, this person is actually a Ga or whatever. And it's quite,
Godwin,
yes.
please, I remembered. Can I talk?
Oh, please, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Okay.
It's just ironic that these families that they are fighting you against that, make sure you don't marry from this tribe. Quote, or you don't know how it happens. It just happens that this same guy you meet, you guys are friends, you guys are, you only ask and you realize that the same tribe they warned me against. So God will help us. Some two people from the states were supposed to join us today. If they did, I'd have probably made them share their view because in the Western world, these things are not things that they battle with, unfortunately, because they understand independence. Right from age 18, they kick you out of the house for you to go and live your own life. And sometimes in an African setting, which is something we'll discuss in a bit, because even though we are grown, we are still with our parents, it becomes obvious that they'll still have that control by you because whoever is feeding you will dictate for you. Whoever is feeding you will tell you where to go. Whoever is feeding you, whoever you are staying under their roof will tell you what you must do. Just because, but you see, in the Western world, age 18, they've kicked you out of the house. Now your life belongs to you. But yeah, 27, 30, go so no breast milk. And that is the country also about own to environment because they don't see that maturity in you because you are still under their house or whatever you may call it. So yeah, I wish they were able to join. Two people were supposed to join. I wish they were able to join so that we can also take. Lillian, please, did your guy join? Did your man join? I wish they were here so we can also take their perspective because these things we are talking about, they may not really be able to relate because in their setting, their culture and their traditions were different, and parents do not hijack the choices of their children and all of that. Okay, Vero, you can continue. Vero, please make it brief, okay, so that we can move into the next discussion. We have about 32 minutes to go to close, so please make it brief, okay.
Yes, please. Please, I wanted to elaborate on what the one lady said about giving your mom gifts in giving your mom gifts. Um, please, if you give your mom gifts because of the guy, you tell your mom that, oh, this guy said I should bring it to you. Moms naturally have discernment. So if this guy is no good, he's no good. Like to her, he's no good. So they have this spiritual discernment. So you have to listen to her. So if you give it to her in favor of the guy and she says no, she doesn't want to leave it like that. But if you give it to her every day in favor of that guy, the guy, and you marry the guy, he will always want you to be giving it to your mom. So that's what I wanted to explain. Thank you.
Powerful.
Alright,
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Sammy, please, anything to say before I move to the next question, please?
no, because of the time, let's go.
Oh, okay. Thank you. But I'm enjoying the conversation so far, and I hope you guys are also enjoying it. Powerful. So, again, we are still looking at passion or platonic, trying to bridge the gap between cultural and contemporary relationships. So when it comes to issues with divorce, okay, relatively, like I said in the introduction, the cultural people had relatively lower, like about 5% of divorce in their time, whereas in our generation we have 55% of the divorce rates, whereas in their time they only had 5%. So I want to ask personally, okay, what would be the deal breaker for you to, number one, leave your partner in a romantic relationship? So you guys are not married yet, probably dating or courtship, okay? And in one of our discussion, we'll be looking at dating as a whole topic. Whether we should date, is it appropriate to date from a biblical standpoint, from a cultural standpoint, from a contemporary standpoint? We'll look at the nuances surrounding dating, whether dating is actually appropriate or it's just friendship to courtship to marriage. So we'll look at dating another time, okay? However, what will be a deal breaker for you not to continue a relationship with someone so far as you guys are not married? And if you guys are married, God forbid, and it gets to the worst case, what will be the ideal reason why you have to divorce? And again, what would be the ideal reason why you have to break up? I'm asking this because of the stigma that the medieval and the cultural people placed on marriage, okay, and divorce, where when you divorce, there is a stigma, there's a societal stigma on you. The church and community and people will see you as a second class individual, or you are inhuman, or you are a failure, because already they prepared you for this stage of your life to marry. So they'll be telling you that so that them and learn how to cook well, so that if you marry, you can give your husband good meal and none of that. Then they'll be telling the men that you need to work out so that you can take care of your woman. So either way, culturally speaking, they prepared the individual, whether male or female, directly for marriage. And eventually, God forbid, your marriage failed. That means they see you as a failure because your whole existence and identity was wrapped up in your marriage. So because of that, there is a lot of stigma. When we also tilt it to our contemporary times, we are also divorcing anyhow. We are breaking up anyhow. We don't even think about it. By the time the person misbehaved, you said, you know what? I'm done. It's over between us. A recent one I heard put there, they were married, but it was long distance. We also, if time permits us, we'll look at long distance today too. So they were married and it was long distance. And I think after I think into a year or so, the lady just sent a text message to the guy that I don't think I can continue this relationship. They were married though. They were married. No, so long distance relationship and long distance marriage. Okay, Margaret, long distance relationship and marriage. So the lady just sent a text message that I don't think I can continue this relationship. It's over between us. And the reason was very flimsy, very flimsy. So I want to hear from us. I want us to understand the dynamic. Like, what will make you want to leave in the worst case, or are you going to be there for better, for worse, like we give it in the vow? So you can answer from the perspective of of relationship, okay, whether dating or courtship. Then you can also answer from a marriage perspective because the two institutions are quite different. Okay. Okay, Sammy, over to you. I hope my question is clear. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so Evans, are you willing to say something? Evans, so sorry. I think you've
Yeah.
unmuted yourself.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
who make you answer?
Okay, so please hear from you.
What's your bag, man? Can you go?
Evans, please, can you
Yeah, Evans, please adjust yourself and your environment before you speak, okay? Because we are recording this session, so we don't want any distraction. Thank you. Sammy, over to you.
Okay, please, the floor is still open. Well, I hope the question was clear though. What will be your deal breaker in a relationship or in a marriage? At what point will you get to and say that you are done?
Okay, so for me, there are two things I cherish in a relationship and want my partner to cherish as well. My belief system. Even if you don't believe it or you don't accept it, maybe you are a Muslim, I'm a Christian. Respect mine for me. Yeah. So when you meet me, I'm a Christian, you are a Muslim. I accept you as a Muslim. Respect mine as well, my doctrines and everything. So whatever I do as a Christian or my doctrines or beliefs shouldn't be a problem in our marriage. Yes. Or in our relationship. You criticize anything about my belief or anything about my belief, I see that as an abuse and I won't take it. Number two is when you are abusive, you insult, you easily raise your hand. I can't take it. Or maybe I would like, let me say, me and people some pair a kasenim, especially in public. And you should know me. O kasam more public like etwa so. No. I won't be able to take that. Yes. So these two things will make me withdraw no matter where the relationship has gotten to, whether it's marriage or anything. Actually, I will share. Thank you.
Oh, Ebusiamo, please, we are waiting on you. What will be a deal breaker for you? At what point do you think you can't handle it anymore, regardless of um, societal stigmatization and all of that? Sometimes your parents or external people may not be in support or agreement of it, but at what point do you think that you'll still draw the curtains? I mean, I'm not praying that for any of us, okay? I'm praying as an institution. We pray, and that is even why we are doing what we are doing. We pray that you get the right knowledge, you align yourself with the right person, and actually enjoy the bliss that comes with your marriage for the long haul. Okay, so death actually do you part. But we are looking at the nuances in therein, that there are unfortunate instances where, yeah, you guys must part your way. It's unfortunate we didn't plan for it, but it had to happen that way. So at what point do you think you call it a break? Ralph, please share some light. They are all calling you, they are all hailing you. Please talk to us. Mhm.
Okay, please. I will give my submission in a minute. Please give me a
Okay,
minute.
okay. Oh, Maggie, uka na tumi womu, utra, enyede. Please, is someone speaking? Is someone speaking? If you can't unmute yourself, just raise your hand or show an emoji so we can unmute you, okay?
Please
Oh,
put me back in my position. I went off.
okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think I heard Ira saying if you are a Muslim and she is dating you or she's married to
Mhm.
you, and
So, I
I don't
mean,
know
your
if
environment
anyone
is not good, though. Your environment is distractive. Oh. Can you?
noisy.
Yeah, it's noisy. It's noisy.
Uh,
There are some kids speaking in your background. Yeah, okay. So Maggie said a man who, okay, Maggie, your environment is very nice. Uh-huh. That is why today we've not received any powerful submission from you. After Nayati and say, Yakuma toye why? So Maggie said a man who makes me feel stupid and doesn't respect me. A mama's boy who can make decisions on his own. Wow, that was heavy. Guys, Ajubleo, Ajubleo.
I've I've missed a lot. I only heard the rest and I didn't hear, I guess, Maggie's
No,
one.
Maggie wrote typed it. She said the environment is not good. So if you check the charts, you see she has written it
Well,
there.
then Maggie, you are forgiven.
Okay, Sammy, over to you. You were saying something.
I was talking about what I didn't hear. So I think it's okay. Please,
Yes,
Idofori speak.
Sammy, it's okay. No, Sammy, it's okay. You can
Uh,
flow. Or someone wants to speak.
Ofori, please, are you ready? Evans Ofori, are you ready? Okay, I don't think he's ready. Okay, me personally, I also think it's a woman who doesn't value. If a woman doesn't value me, if she doesn't value me, I really don't think I can continue with this whole thing. And value has to do with submission and respect. So once she doesn't respect or value you or see you to be that kind of important person in her life, I don't think it's worth it. So yeah, so that's mine too.
Powerful.
Please,
Sammy,
the floor is still
yeah,
open.
but Sammy, I think you were going to address something Ira said, or you are okay now.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Jimmy, please, we want to hear from you. Jimmy, please, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, please, we want to hear from you.
My deal breaker in marriage or relationship or both of them, which one?
Both of them.
Yeah, I think I'll go for value to a man that doesn't value me and doesn't value what I stand for. Don't be doing who doesn't value what I stand for. Yeah, man that doesn't value what I come with, my decisions, and he throws it off, my suggestions, he throws it off, and all those things, and doesn't appreciate what I do as an individual, then I don't know what I'm doing in the relationship. So I don't think it's even going to end in a marriage relationship. Nah, I think we just got separated. If it is happening in the marriage, that'll be a very hard one. Because I yes, there's divorce, but it's not something I don't think I would like to do unless in the extreme cases. And what will lead to the extreme cases is abuse and yeah, abuse in any way. In any way, abuse, and I can't stand it. And we've tried counseling, we've tried
Social
everything.
abuse.
I think I can stand that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Jimmy, who abusing a spiritual cry some about?
Please, I'm seeing a VVV someone here. Please, can you rename yourself so that we can know you by your name, okay? VVV or WV. Please rename yourself, okay? So we can know you by your name. Even if it's just your first name, it's fine.
Ralph, please,
Okay.
can we hear from you?
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so I believe there are some things that it won't help me in the long run, as in a relationship, that I might call for a break. So first of all, has to do with the belief system. That's my conviction. I have to be at par with you concerning our belief system, because there are some things I will do if we are at par in the belief system. I mean, the same belief. You may, one way or the other, attack me on it. Maybe you might not, because of ignorance about the belief system. You might not understand and you may attack it. So first of all, the belief system. Because if you are in the Christendom or in the kingdom, there are some things that are foolishness to the natural man. So first of all, the belief system. And secondly, the mind. Mental, so the mind, I'll talk about understanding and also talk about vision. So we should be at par with some understanding, some basics, and also the vision. You have to buy into understanding first of all. In my vision, who am I? So first of all, for me to be in a relationship with you, it is my duty to let you know who I am. I am not just Raphael. I am Raphael, this. So I am created to do this. I live for this. This is who I am. Are you ready to go with me? So first of all, the belief system. Secondly, mind, understanding. And under the understanding, we have vision and some core values. And because of time, maybe lastly, because of how God created man, God esteemed us to the extent that He said, let us create man in our own image. So God even esteemed man, and by the reason of that mandate, every man was created to first of all receive love, secondly to be valued, and thirdly to be esteemed or honored. So me, for instance, if there shouldn't be a case that you don't love me, you have to love me, no matter who I am. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, yesterday I was having my personal studies. Then I realized when you read 1 Corinthians 13, he was talking about the definition of love. Then the first one is long suffering. So long suffering is from why am I going back? So the long suffering, when you check the Greek context, is the word macrotumia. It's the longest note. So he said long suffering in the Greek. In the olden days, they have a longest noodle. So it's so long, and the word is long suffering. So suffer long. So in relationship, it shouldn't be the case that you were enjoying the coziness and everything, and one day maybe Raphael did something, and by the reason of that you want to break up. In relationship, you suffer long. Sometimes even the time you want to talk to me, I'm doing something else. It shouldn't also be the case. Sometimes you may not get it every day as it should be. Okay, someone said the Bible said it should. Christ loved us and He gave Himself for us. Our response, love is reciprocal. So I'm talking from the aspect. Love is reciprocal. So love into submission. And you can't just say that you can't submit without love. If you don't love me, you can't even submit to me. Yeah, unless you are bought as a servant. Only servants even servants sometimes submit in love. And our love union, in relation, if you are in the Christendom, our relationship or our marriage depict the love, the union between Christ and the church. And Christ and the church here, in this case, the church submit to Christ in love, not in a servant relationship. So this is it. So first of all, you have to love me unto submission, and secondly, you have to value me. This is Raphael. This is what he does. This is what. So this is what I stand for. You have to also value me. And lastly, you also have to honor me. Honor me in various essence. You have to do things to also please me. Sometimes you have to spread me and other things. Yeah, so I think that is so. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you. That's well said.
Thank
Thank you
you
so much, Ralph.
very much, sir. Thank you.
So
We'll agree to
we have
that.
so we have 10 minutes more to go, and I want us to tackle this one issue we have in our contemporary relationships. So statistically, we are seeing prolonged singlehood, okay, in our society, where only few people are getting married, and the greater chunk of people in society are nowhere near marriage, or they are not thinking about marriage, or they don't want to marry, and all of that. I want us to discuss what could be some of the reasons, maybe personal to you, maybe the experiences you've seen around you or you've heard, could be the reason why people don't want to venture into this course of marriage. I'm saying this because in the medieval or the cultural setting kind of marriages, they were given to marriage from a very young age, like 15 years, 12 years, 10 years, 18 years, and all. But in our contemporary time, someone is 40, the person is not married. Someone is 30, 35, 38, the person is not married. So, what do you think could be the reason why we are not appreciating marriage in our dispensation? I mean, as a foundation, that is what we stand for: safe family, safe society. So it is good we have this discussion so that we can all learn what could be the reason why people don't want to attempt this course of marriage. So we can discuss this within the next 7, 8 minutes, then we can bring a closure. Jima, speak or speak. Don't type.
Jimmy, speak. You are too active. You are too active on the comment box.
You can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
I think for most people, if the finances, okay, looking at our age now, yes, some people are financially stable, they are on their own, they're managing their things, but then they are struggling on in our parents' house, and everything like marriage is not going to be just about. So now I'm speaking on my side as a female. Marriage is not just going to be on the shoulders of the man. It's going to be both ways. So if you as a woman you are not even financially strong like that, you start to calculate your moves very well. So sometimes that financial freedom, let me say in a way, hinders most people. And then what we have already discussed, sometimes maybe everything is set. You have the man, you have the money, but then your parents are thinking otherwise. Sometimes your parents have agreed, like your parents are actually waiting for you. There's the money, but then you don't have the man. Or on the side of the money, you don't have the woman. So I think it's a lot of reasons that um come into play. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Mr. Joseph, please, are you there? You've been quiet for a long time. Father Felix.
Sami, unfre Lydia, and Lydia, just control.
Oh, Lily, as a who need me, I know him from it. Well, oh, I Gifty has left then. Oh, Gifty Crow and Casa one time. Na Mama Nekon. Lily, please, are you there?
Please, I'm here.
All right, let's hear from you.
Okay. I also think that the reason why people, they don't want to get married or they're afraid to go into marriage is because of the, increasing rate at which marriages are failing. We are on social media. One time I saw one post from is there a guy or a woman saying that now when you go on social media, a lot of women or like a lot of people are talking about, marriage being bad. But there are good ones there. So the good people should also come out and then come and tell us that, good marriage exists and it is nice so that the youth would also appreciate it and then would want to get married. Because like now, if you're on social media, you see today this marriage is failing, today people's marriage are not working out and all that. So I think that people are actually scared because they know that, marriage is not a good thing. If you are, people will tell you that if you have guessed somebody, you can actually give birth to, because you've given birth without marriage, like you're okay. What else do you need? Again, you get it. So I think people who are having good marriages should also come out and also tell us that there are good marriages out there, and marriages are working. In as much as there are challenges, you can make marriage work. But now, my friends, even doctors at work and all that, they've been saying that, oh, if you find somebody and you give birth with that person, you're okay. What else do you need? You don't need anything. So I think that's people who are enjoying good marriages should also come out and tell us something. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Agnes, please can we hear from you? And Bless, me personally, I've not heard from you. I've not heard you speak. Can you tell us something? Bless, Tete, please can you hear me? Are you there? Our time is almost up. Godwin, please can we hear from you?
Oh, I wish more people could share some experiences with us. So Jima spoke about money. Economical hardship is one major issue. The kind of weddings we want to do in our times can be very cost intensive. As a result of that, may prolong getting married, because sometimes those who have the means, go ahead, no problem. But sometimes people tend to prioritize the wedding and its ceremony over the marriage and its longevity and institution itself. Nothing wrong. Like I said, if you have the means and the money, Charlie, if you want to do a loud wedding, you can do so. Just make sure that you're also having a loud marriage. Just make sure you're also enjoying your marriage after the wedding. So sometimes we put too much economic pressure on us when we know we have something small we can bring together to make a successful wedding ceremony and get married. But we still want that grand wedding. The women especially are fantasizing grand ceremony. And I get it. It's one of the most important events and happenings in your life. So if you need to make it big, why not? But here in the case, you guys may not have the means financially. You guys can do a court wedding. You guys can just do it within the family setting, call a pastor to bless it for you. But you still want your enemies and people from the village and people from the state and everyone to know that you are getting married. So that financial pressure can be the reason. Then parental disapproval too. Like Jima said, money is ready, the man is ready, the woman is ready, but parents are saying that we are not agreeing. That one can also prolong it. I think one other person also. So Lillian spoke about the fear. That's the the fear people have attached to marriage and divorce and its ramification. And because of what we see and hear on social media, sometimes not even on social media, your parents' marriage were not the best example. The marriage of your family members were not the best example. Your own personal relationship has not been the best example. So it is easier for you to think that you don't think you can work it out or make it in your marriage. So there are more. I wish we can really share. There are many reasons why the singlehood we have is actually prolonging, and only a chunk of people are getting married, and more people are not getting married compared to before, where you see before the stigma was on the singles, the stigma was on those who were not married. Again, like I said, it's because people tied their identity to marriage, or rather people tied the identity of their children to marriage. So if you're a certain age and you don't get married, that means that there is wahala. Unfortunately, in our times too, people have detached the identity away from marriage so much so that people don't want to even bother getting married again. So I wish we had more to share, even though our time is up. So if anyone has anything to share, any final notes, question, no, we can't take question because of the time, but any short contribution to what we are talking about, the prolonged singleness, or anything we've spoken about so far, you want to add one or two things before we go, you can do so. Okay, Bless. The floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon to
Yes,
you.
sir. Afternoon, sir.
I realized my name was mentioned first, but I couldn't respond.
Mm.
Yeah, I think all that was shared are all part of the reasons, but then every age and how they behave. We are being analytical. We don't just stand up and do things just because it's supposed to be done. We try to analyze, past events and see how those things are going to have an effect on our life. Yeah, so now before somebody will enter into a marriage, they don't just wake up and enter into. They do analysis, and when they do analysis and they realize that uh, from historical data there is a possibility of danger, they will have to hold on and make sure that everything is okay before they make that move. The next one, which I always talk about, which is quite controversial in most cases, will have to do with things that are supposed to be done in marriage that are being done in what we call normal relationships. Some of us who are quite old, we realize that what is done in today's relationships are not supposed to be done. They are supposed to be done in marriage. So it's like you are giving something that is supposed to be paid for, you are giving it for free. So there is no need for me to pay for it again. So if the guy knows that, oh, this lady is doing everything that a married woman would do, then why will I waste my time to go and marry her in the first place? Yeah, so I would like to, this is my first day of joining. Gifty invited me, but I would like to encourage you to continue with this particular teachings we are following from afar so that our way of thinking in relation to relationship and marriage as a whole, we will have a new perspective, trying to let young ones know that this is meant for marriage, this is meant for relationship. Having that clear understanding, I think, is going to take us far. So thank you so much for the good work and keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Bless. Thank you very much. We also like to encourage everyone to also be available for us. Even as Sister Bless is saying that we should keep on with these teachings, we also like to encourage everyone to be available for us, even as we are doing this, because we can't teach the air or something. As human beings, we can teach. So once we are teaching, it means I will need listeners. It's going to be you people, you see. So I think today the number was okay to some extent, but I also like to say something so that when we close, I think our time is up. Okay, so my submission or my closing remark is that I think the issue with all these things is how we have failed to balance everything from the medieval times when it was all about the man, and it was the man doing it was the man was actually the focus of everything good. It was all about the man, and then we try to do women empowerment and we have overdone it, and women to some extent also feel that they don't need men, so what a man can do, woman can do better. So now people are just some ladies just need a man to have sex with them, and then they just get pregnant, they give birth to their child, they take care of their child because they have man. They don't care about family structure, all those stuff. And it was because we were trying to do women empowerment to balance or to offset that kind of the issue with it only being about the man. So I the Bible says that God hates an imbalanced scale. Yes, an imbalanced scale. So even an imbalanced scale, God hates it. So I think we should the purpose of this meeting is to find a balance between all these things, and I think to some extent we've done justice to it. We've done justice to it. So anyone who has joined, I strongly believe that we are we are actually blessed. Yeah. So, as I said, I think some people join late and all those stuff. Please, next time when we are having a bit, I think the discussion was actually heated. So about it was heated for long from the very beginning. So those who couldn't join us from the beginning, I think they missed quite a lot. They missed quite a lot. But anyway, thank you for joining. I'll leave the rest to our founder. Gordon, please, over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. You don't know how fulfilled I am that we've had this 2 hour session. And I believe that all the things we've shared has gone a long way to strengthen us as individuals, our perspectives, and also hopefully our relationships and marriages. I want to seize this opportunity to appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for spending your data and your time, which is one valuable asset we have as humanity, to join this meeting, and also especially to those of you who actually contributed to this discussion. We are not a one-man army. We are a family. We are a community. We are a society. So we thrive on togetherness. We thrive on unity. We thrive on working collaboratively as individuals. So I'm glad you guys came out of your hiding places and joined this meeting for this discussion. So there are a lot more we would want to share with you. We are a community and a society that is committed to healing and helping and restoring people, individuals, and their relationships. That is why our slogan is healthy life, worthy relationships, because we believe that when the individual, as it were, is sane and healthy and strong, it will have a direct influence and impact in their relationships, whether romantic or non-romantic. So our name is Safe Family, Safe Society, because we believe that a society can be in a better place if individuals and families and marriages and relationships are actually strong. So we want to encourage you, if you want to make any inquiries or you want to receive one-on-one counseling from us, whether in person or virtual, or you want to join our membership, you can pick up the number on the screen. You can WhatsApp us and we are going to attend to you. You can also send us a mail at safefamilysafesociety@gmail.com and we are going to attend to you. If by any way you were blessed or touched with what we did today, there are a lot more projects we are seeking to undertake this year. We have a lot of books, about 4 of them, that we are seeking to publish. We have some donations we are planning to do. We have some retreats coming on. We have a mega conference we are doing, and we also have a lot of online meetings that we are going to be having, which we've started already. So if you were touched by any way or means and you want to support us, you want to donate to us, the number is also on the screen. You can take the number, and any amount is not small. You can contribute to this organization so that we can use it to help people, to better people's lives and their relationships, to even give free counseling to people, because there are people who are supporting this cause financially. Then also you can reach us on all social media at Godwin Freeman Amuzu, whether on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you think, wherever social media is, we are there. You can reach out to us. Our website will also be ready, hopefully in the coming months. We are still putting some tweaks around it. So you can also reach out to our website at sfssglobal.org when it's ready. And we have lots of courses there, videos, sessions, and audio sessions you can purchase to develop yourself. We have books there you can buy. We have articles there you can read. We have a lot of things in store for you. So right now we want you to pick up the numbers on the screen, pick up the name of our social media handle. You can reach out to us. You can interact with us. Hopefully in our next discussion, we will round our head around what the topic is going to be. We are going to share the flyer with you. But most importantly, if you want to be a member of this foundation, you can reach out to us through the number or our mail, and we are going to add you to the membership, and we are going to grow together. Thank you so much.